A little bit earlier than oh, hopefully that's good. Connected. Hopefully that's all right. Hope I'm in a good spot. But folks, I want to give breaking news. It's important. There's lots that's happened in the last 72 hours, but today was explosive, and I want to get that done first. And the first being, of course, King Charles III, Justin Trudeau, Pierre Poilievre. As you all saw in the news over weeks now, not even weeks, I shouldn't even say that, but a few weeks ago, I guess, Pierre Poilievre was hitting hard against Justin Trudeau on Trudeau ordering federal conservation agents to go out in helicopters and shoot deer. Well, folks, it's been going on all over Canada, both provincially, not even talked about, swept under the rug absolutely by all news media. In fact, the only media you can get besides Pierre Poilievre's post on Twitter is one CBC article going into the 84 deer that cost a whopping $848,000 to taxpayers. Seems insane. Lots of stories about all these displaced animals provincially. The fires, all the bears. A record 468 bears ordered killed. Brown and largely black bears ordered killed by conservation officers across Canada. Huge expense. Huge. Never mind the deer. Folks, I found out where they went. And lo and behold, you find a huge outcry with that Twitter post from Pierre Poilievre, as well as the deer posts in the fires. Guess what happened? UK animal rights activists lost it. They said it's no more bears for the hats. Never mind what you see at Ottawa. Literally, it's a couple dozen police soldiers through Parliament in different areas of Canada, at monuments and at gates. This is largely upper and lower Canada. Very minor. A dozen hats. What's not so minor is throughout the Commonwealth and the British system throughout the Commonwealth, especially UK, but all the stationed officers all throughout the British Commonwealth and absolutely all the UK established embassies, they're there. It takes one bear to make one hat. One bear, one hat. Female brown bear, female black bear. The brown bears, you can get the full hat. Then they just dye the fur. The females produce extra thick, luscious fur because of their young. They need to stay healthy in the winter to take care of their young. That's just the genetics of it. So Pierre Poilievre made his tweet weeks ago in this last week, and then all erupts in the UK. How dare you ban them, more. The deers ordered killed, they go to British troops in the desert throughout the Commonwealth. All the action of UK lately in the Middle East, the boots those soldiers acquire come from the deer hides from Canada. Taxpayers averaged $10,000. All the deer, not just the federal that was ordered, but every province. It's a huge number, insane number. That's for the boots for UK troops, given free. But we pay. We pay for the government to harvest them, bring them back, fly them in, quickly gut and skin them, send the hides off to the UK, where one company, one international, takes them and makes all the military garb, all the police hats, those great big soldier police hats. Very limited is needed in Canada, but the many, many Commonwealth nations, all the UK embassies, the UK palace, the royal family, they use hundreds. 480 just for the UK. That's a fact. That's literally breaking news. Pierre Poilievre, as the rumor mill goes, was absolutely lambasted by the British Crown, the royal family. Look at the trouble you caused us. You're His Majesty's official opposition. You remember, it's on Twitter too. You can go back when King Charles was crowned. God save the King. That's the first tweet Pierre released, pledging his loyalty and allegiance to a far-off kingdom instead of his own country, which is going to get into a lot. It's going to get into a lot of real detail. Before this video, lots of detail I posted. I worked on over the last 72 hours, quiet time, to get it all right and get it ready for all of you. Because I do get frustrated. I get frustrated that so many people who've been following me for quite a while still fall into all the rabbit holes, and they still post on my feeds like, you don't watch my videos, you don't read my evidence-based, absolutely tangible evidence-based posts. Well, they're there now on my timeline that are really undisputable, and the only reason why going forward after this video these people linger on as supposed friends or followers is because they're not friends and followers. They're batting for the other team, and they're actually not here to join what we're doing. They're actually a liability, and if that's the case, no problem. But there's a number of people that it just gets tiring now. Either you're completely unintelligent, you have no skills at all, or you're a plant from the other team. And I know that there's lots of people like that who love their fake realities and want and need it. They need to be lied to, and they need to propagate that. The problem is I can't have that propagation on my feeds. I can't do it anymore. It frustrates me. It's beyond ignorance and institutionalization. You're an abusive kind of person. You're your own narcissist, really. And like I said, it's only going to take away from what I'm doing. So people are going to accept this as it is because there's a multitude of evidence, and I give you the skills in this video to go look at it yourself. The links are there. You can't get anything else other than what I'm going to present. One more breaking news is I made a post on Alec Baldwin. It's correct, folks. And when I say Harvey Weinstein and Epstein files, Harvey Weinstein's in prison. A Hollywood celebrity, movie maker, producer, large corporate assets all over Hollywood, right through to New York, large in the Comedy Central clubs all over USA, from New York right across, and all kinds of celebrities attached to him. Jimmy Kimmel, and it's his own wife's story, folks, published his significant other, ex-girlfriend, they're broke up now, but they were together a tremendous amount of time, all through Harvey Weinstein. His girlfriend gives a story about a serial masturbator. It's recorded, anyone can look it up. And he was nailed by a whole bunch of celebrities in that movement. And the story goes, this guy would corner women and masturbate in front of them. He'd just hijack them in the middle of something when no one's around. They're walking down the hallway. He'd get these women alone and start masturbating in front of them, make them watch. And it's perversion. It's crazy. It's sick. Well, Jimmy Kimmel's girlfriend gives that story to a time, because she's a longtime friend of his, and said it wasn't him, it was a restaurateur guy. It happened to her. And it's like, It didn't happen from the guy you were good friends with in your career for how many years while you're with Jimmy Kimmel, which leads us into more. There's an FBI report in these clubs that Harvey Weinstein toured and was completely involved with. And there's an FBI report on a child trafficking ring in these comedy clubs right in the vicinity of Jimmy Kimmel's. And in fact, as it goes, it's at his club and the people working at his club he owns. That's being investigated now. And it comes from a great source. It comes from the actor Sacha Cohen while he was doing Borat. You know, the jokes he played on celebrities where he didn't let them in on it to keep it real and to keep in character of Borat? Well, he goes to this club and one of the patrons there thinks he's serious and he's going to set him up with a child ring right there in the club, and they had connections. That's Jimmy Kimmel's club. Jimmy Kimmel, Harvey Weinstein, tight. Not Epstein. There's two different files here. The woman Alec Baldwin shot is named in the Epstein files, as is Alec Baldwin. And there is a story that years ago she had complaints against one Alec Baldwin. That's how it goes. Mysteriously, he says there's no trigger on the gun. They say there's no trigger on the gun. Someone modified it, put a trigger on the gun. Why he's being indicted now is ballistics show, and the investigation shows after the release of the files, they see the public connection. He most certainly now does have motive, and he certainly now does have a weapon that had the trigger installed. You're not supposed to use it on set if the trigger's installed. Someone modified the gun to have it. They're recharging him now, indicted, in relation to what was released in those files over the last 2 weeks. She's got a complaint in there. So now he has motive, and he absolutely has a murder weapon. We know that. We have a body, and the trigger was on, even though he said it wasn't. They have it. It was on. So somebody modified the weapon. He had motive to shoot her. That's a fact. Whether people like that or not. It's real. People choose to accept that. He's been indicted again today. Just, I guess, 45 minutes ago. No one's sharing my post or liking it, so everybody's afraid. Oh, we'll get sued, we'll get sued. I'm sorry, folks. Cat's out of the bag. And there's more on Jimmy Kimmel. And it's coming from Weinstein, not Epstein. And it's coming from those comedy club circuits. So now I want to get into what I want to educate people on. Things that you can't dispute. Things that are real in our history, in our system of governance, internationally and in law. It relates to WEF, the WHO, Human Rights Council, and the list goes on and on. World Trade Organization. I want everybody to understand this. Since 1945, World War II, 5 allies of World War II. Remember, there were a bunch of Axis powers. There was a war called World War II. Before that, a World War I. They were all colonial empire wars. Hardly any of the allies that are allies of World War II today, the victorious allies of World War II, China, Russia, USA, were not in any of those empire scenarios. All three were very, very weak countries. They all had their wars historically with the mighty empires, a kingdom system with a set of international laws and a global contest for a one world government, an absolute ruling emperor or king. Doesn't matter, it's all constitutional monarchies. All of them in that design, proven for 700 years, meaning the fall of Rome, has always had a WEF, has always had a WHO, and certainly has had a World Trade Organization. They've all at different points tried to impose as them running the show. In the links before this video, I go through absolutely the UN as it is since 1945. 6 official languages: Russian, English for USA, Chinese for China, French for France. Then they put in Arabic to get everybody else outside of that. Then there's another one. There's 6. Missed one. That's why I always should write things down. There are 6 languages to the UN. What that means is whenever you go to the UN and you want to see something bound by the UN, created by the UN, it has to be in one of 6 languages. One of 6. Latin isn't there. Old French is not there. The French, post the Second Revolution, that's there. Not the Shakespearean French tied to those kingdoms I listed just before the 6 languages. Those aren't there. Now, more than that, there are 6 organs of the UN. Let's hope I don't screw this up. First is the General Assembly. Right now, that's 193 recognized nations in the world today that have nation status. They're all members of the UN, all of them, under the General Assembly. They say it's the first tier, but it's got the least power and authority. They can't make international law. They're subject to veto. Who makes international law? Who has the power of veto? The most powerful organ of the UN, the United Nations Security Council. Again, that's all the 5 allies I listed, whose all 5 languages are there, including Arabic, and there's another one, but not coming to me. Maybe it will in this post. USA, Russia, France, UK, and China. Those 5 are the United Nations Permanent Security Council, whom all 5 have to pass anything done by the General Assembly or anything they put forward, together, all united, or they can abstain, meaning they reserve the right to veto later in any time they want. But a law can go through at that point, individually or all together, without a veto, meaning they all have to abstain and one passes it, or one of them vetoes and then it's over. Doesn't matter. Any one vetoes, it's over. Doesn't become law. The 6 organs: General Assembly, most powerful, United Nations Security Council, second most powerful organ of the UN, Economic Social Council. By the way, these are all in New York. They were absolutely in San Francisco, but they all remain in New York in the United States of America since the inception of the UN. After that, there's the Secretariat, office again in New York. Then there's the Trusteeship Council, again, office in New York. Nowhere else in the world. USA, New York. All the 5 allies have permanent offices in New York. Even right now, Russia, who's not banned at all by their 2 representatives, remain there forever. They can never be removed. They can never leave. I mean, they can go home for a visit. But what I mean is they can never be kicked out. If the United States or anybody else assassinated them or ordered them out of New York, it's a declaration of World War III. Any of the 5 council members, representatives, which Russia gets 2, every one of them gets 2. You get a United Nations Security Ambassador, and then you get their deputy. All of them get that. That's the Security Council. They stay there forever. They have voice, authority, media, all of it. Can't be blocked. You'll find them all on Twitter. All governments in the world are on Twitter. That's the magic of Twitter compared to every other platform in the world of social media. It's the only one that houses all countries, all politicians, absolutely the Security Council as a gateway to social media and news. They're all there jointly. UN TV, you can go on, it's there. You get all 6 languages. Any one you want, it will translate to any of the 6 languages you want. When it comes to records, any nation gets it in their own language. General population, us, from any nation in the world, you have a choice of 6 languages. Oh, Spanish, yay! I remembered, it was Spanish. Spanish is the other languages. 6 languages, you get 6 to choose from. It near covers a 90 percentile of the world today in population. 6 languages, always available, no matter what. Any document, anything that's UN, 6 languages, 6 organs, they're named. You can go on the website, they're there. What is not in the UN is absolutely the Palace of Nations in Switzerland that houses UN-affiliated outfits, not part of the UN. How you know this? Go on the website of the Geneva. Go look at WEF. Go look at WHO. Go look at all these things. Now, they have an English website, but did you know when you go to look at the laws and the organizations registered of them, do you know where they're found? They're not in the UN, just like I told you. You have to go to the Palace of Nations, the League of Nations, Geneva in Switzerland, the old palace in the old world order of kingdoms from the League of Nations. That's where they're all housed. 24 other organs of that group are there, not registered officially or sanctioned officially by the United Nations Security Council. Nope, not in New York. They're in Switzerland, in Geneva. Are there conventions that have been ratified by the United Nations Security Council? Sure. 6 in 75 years. Do you know how many have been put through there? Thousands. And the UN has only sanctioned 6. You guys seeing a reoccurring pattern here? And they're good laws. They're human rights laws, rule of war laws, child rights in war, women's rights in war, civilian rights, rights of military and what they can do, what they can use in weapons, what they can release on populations. It's all there, ratified. Number of good laws. The rest have not been bound into international law. In fact, none of the offices of these commissions, 24 of them, are in New York or even assigned to New York. Oh, sure, they have an international website. Sure, they have a logo. But when you go on it, guess what happens? I can't pick all these different languages. When I go look at the laws and the rules governing it, which I shared in the post before, for all of you, pick your poison. The Human Rights Council. Go look at it. Go look at the office of the WEF, head office. Go look at it. Go look at the head office of the WHO. Go look at it. It's all there. And it's not in any of the 6 languages like everything else on the UN website. It's in one language. Old French broken Latin language. The laws absolutely of the entirety of the UK, France, and 6 other nations, all Age of Empires kingdoms, because that's what was developed in the League of Nations. From all those years all the way up, that's what they kept. A divine human first class, a language written that 99% of the world doesn't speak. Only the elites do. So we present the laws. If you can translate them, which people can't, not the general population of the world can't, and if the general population can't, and it's not available in all the 6 languages, and in fact is made in a language that doesn't exist in the UN or used in the UN, what does that tell you, everybody? It's not UN. It's old world League of Nations, Age of Empires bullshit. That's the truth. Not even in New York do they affiliate with all the nations. When you go on there, you can't speak the language. You can't copy, cut, and translate. It's all pictorial. Russia does that too, by the way. You have to take the picture and you got to write out all the words, and then you got to feed it into a translator or find someone who speaks the language. But even when you look at it, even though I don't, it shows me Permanente, which is permanent probably members, and it shows all the 193 nations who signed on to it from the General Assembly. Yeah. All those committees and councils from the old world, not bound in the UN, have all been ratified by General Assembly states. Yeah. And then there's the United Nations Security Council, who's there, who doesn't bind any of them, but sure, they'll jump on board. Who cares? They're the Security Council, watching what everybody's going to do. This is the truth. It's there. You can go on the UN. You can see how the UN rolls everything out. Then you can go in the palace in Switzerland, and you have all of that, which they say. There is the ICJ and the ICC created by the P5. But those are in the Hague. That's the only one of the binding organs, the UN, that's actually in the Hague, or that's outside of New York. It's in the Netherlands, and that's because that's their court and their prison. A rough place to go. Not on U.S. waters, not on any of the 5 allies' locations. It's a central location for them to deal with whom they deem a prisoner in this world today. Folks, these are facts. Undisputable facts. We have to stop with blaming billionaires that are pieces of crap. And yes, there are powerful families that got rich in the age of empires and different empires and still hold wealth today. But then there's a whole bunch of new evil pieces of shit. We can look at Joe Biden, and this is another big one that people got to wrap their heads around, because the world's going to a dark place under the USA, who traditionally has always been America first. I've never seen a president like Joe Biden so evil and aggressively evil. I've never seen one like that, or I'm getting smacked. I finally supposed to, oh wow, it's breaking up hard, eh? I hope this video is intact all the way through, because this one's very important. But oh, I don't know. I can see it's glitching too, and I don't know why. I mean, maybe weather, but I don't see any storm. I mean, it's a little overcast, but it's an important video and it's important knowledge I want people to really understand and come up with. I was just doing a point, and that's why I hate when these videos break, but yeah, you're cutting out. I wonder if I'm still cutting out now. Jeez. What's that? Something is Hungarian? I'm not sure. Anyhow, I know I was getting to a big point that I had to make there. What's that? Gary? I'm not sure you're freezing or me. No, it'd be me freezing probably.